This is Rebecca with the Cat and Rebecca Show, Keep It Real Estate, and I have Brian Kavanaugh from the Franklin Loan Center, and we're talking about what the other costs to a home are other than the down payment. On the real estate side, we have an earnest money deposit, which I negotiate depending on how much you want as an offer as far as how strong and how much you're capable of putting down. And the other cost associated on my end would be home inspections. But the other costs we haven't talked about would be with Brian on those lender closing costs.
Okay. Thanks for bringing that up. There's three things that you as a buyer need to come up with to us, the lender, when you buy a house, okay? Your down payment, that's gonna be negotiated. It's not gonna be negotiated, it's part of the program that we select for you and what you're qualified for. Then there's gonna be closing costs. Closing costs are made up of escrow fees, title fees, lender fees, and it could be a bunch of other little costs in there like the appraisal and a few other minor things in there. And the third thing is they're called recurring costs. Those are costs that are always going to be recurring every single year. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, interest on the property, any association fees that you have. It takes those three things to get into a house. So not just your down payment, okay?
Correct.
It takes closing costs from the escrow, title, and lender fees, and it takes property taxes, insurance, and interest. Now you had mentioned they put down earnest money. Mm-hmm. That earnest money, let's just say, is 1%. It goes into the escrow.
Yes.
That earnest money will actually be paid towards down payment or closing costs, whatever it is, and attributed to that, okay? We do not collect any of our fees up front. The only fee that is required up front from us, because we have to pay a separate vendor, is the appraiser. And the appraiser will be another upfront fee, kind of like your home inspection, where they're gonna go out and only verify the condition of the property as far as health and safety and the value that it'll come in at based on other comparables in the area.
So you're gonna, we write an offer, once we get it accepted, you'll be giving that earnest money deposit to escrow. And then Brian would be asking for a credit card or a check for the appraisal. And any home inspections you want to perform, those would be out of your pocket as well. And then at closing, you'll be coming up with any balance. Now, we do have a loan disclosure. So on that loan disclosure, once we have an accepted offer, all these fees will be disclosed to the buyer. So they'll know exactly what they'll be paying at the time we get an accepted offer.
Yes, and we're pretty close on it. When you first get an accepted offer, we reach out to the escrow company or the closing company, and we request their fees, what their fees are going to be based on this type of transaction and this sale price. And they get with title and the closer, and they send us those fees. Then we put our fees in there as well, and we disclose that out to the borrowers. So the borrowers know not only do they have their down payment, but they're also going to have these closing costs. Every loan is different, and every type of loan has different costs associated with it, okay? But you can usually expect anywhere from 1.5% to 3% of the sale price going towards your recurring and your non-recurring closing costs.
So this would be also something when you're talking about their house payment, what that would be, because that's usually the number one thing which we've talked about now, would be how much money they need to have at the time of close. So you will be disclosing that, but the exact numbers won't be there until after we have an accepted offer, correct?
That is correct.
Because again, taxes are different programs.
Correct. Different programs, different taxes, everything can be different. But most of all this is always gone through when you get your pre-approval. You should know what to expect when you have that accepted offer, that I will need this much for down payment, this much for closing costs, this much for prepaid closing costs, and what to expect with my agent as far as earnest money.
So once you get that loan disclosure on an accepted offer, that would be the time, if you have questions about any of the fees on there, to discuss it at that moment, because that would be the fees that you're going to be paying at closing.
That is correct.
Okay. Be sure to click on the link if we didn't give you enough detail on this with any questions or comments, and we look forward to hearing from you. This is Keep It Real Estate.